Welcome to Channel 1 ITV's In the Grand Scheme of Things, where we talk about live podcasts, pop culture, and everything in between. I'm Devinn at Channel 1 ITV on Twitter.
I'm Sam at Alfred75 on Twitter.
I'm Lee at Bombay Gunrunner on Twitters.
I'm Dustin at Brat77 on Twitters. Turn it around here.
I'm Erin at Erin Grant on Twitter.
And podcats. These are cats.
The
that
podcats.
are living in pods.
Where are we?
Don't mind me, I'm just on Twitter.
He's already on Twitter.
On the Twitters right now.
Yeah.
Well, we have the...
Suge
I guess
Knight.
by the time this uploads, the Video Music Awards will have aired, but Suge Knight shot already.
6 times. Expected to recover, they say.
Oh, yeah, he's been through a lot worse, I guess.
Now, the question is it because the bullets hit non-vital portions of his body, or because he's so giant, they just didn't get all the way through to the vital organs?
That's a toss-up. What's he doing there anyway? Who's he with nowadays?
I think Suge Knight's with himself, and
This
he can
was
go any
at-
damn where he wants to.
This was at a Chris Brown pre-MVA
Wait a minute.
VMA party.
Wait a minute. You mean there was some violence at a Chris Brown party?
Can you believe it?
And but he wasn't involved. That's
Maybe
now
he
wait a
shot
minute. We
Suge
don't know.
Knight.
Yeah, we don't know who the shooter is.
Well,
No, Chris Brown is more likely not to shoot Suge Knight and slap a girl. That's Chris
Yeah,
Brown.
that's more
Chris
his
Brown's
speed.
more like, I'll beat up a woman, but a man, no, I don't
Yeah,
want to mess with
I don't
that.
Yeah, I'm not going to step
You're
to
a
him.
punk.
Now,
Not Suge Knight.
the other two things that have happened in advance of the awards that you'll see probably before you hear this, Iggy Azalea, Rose Petunia, fell off the stage at some... I mean, she dropped. She, backed up and fell. It was some... And then the other thing is
She
that
landed on her ass. Hopefully.
one of the snakes involved in Nicki Minaj's Anaconda performance, they were rehearsing, boa constrictor bit one of her dancers.
Right in the butt cheek, I hope.
I guess so.
I tell you what,
That's the thing. That's the thing about boas. You just never know.
that Nicki Minaj.
I'm assuming that's going to be the opening performance, but I
No,
don't know.
the opening
No.
performance is Ariana Grande.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Big
Okay.
Brother. If Big Brother's told me anything, it's told me that.
So what might be the big surprise this year?
The big surprise is Dustin and I are going to watch the VMAs.
I am shocked.
Really?
Well, now wait a minute. Dustin and I watch TV a little differently from the rest of them. We watch 15 seconds. We fast forward 10 to 15
Right.
minutes.
That's what, yeah.
I told Dustin we're going to watch the VMAs tonight. He was like, "Oh," I said, "Wait a minute. It'll take us about 10 minutes to get through the broadcast." Don't
Last VMAs you enjoyed, Erin.
When did they stop?
the
shooting
last
videos?
one in which rock and roll
Well,
was
now,
on the
even though
stage.
Axl Rose was out of breath and bloated, I did enjoy that
Oh, he
one when
was
they all
blowed
got
up
back.
when-
Jimmy Fallon
yeah.
hosted that year.
That was 2000. It was
Jeez,
a surprise
I don't know.
performance. No,
Come
I was
on.
looking
How
back at
could
the
you
old
pull
ones
that
today.
out of your ass?
I was
what year
looking on
that was?
Wikipedia.
Sam knows them all, man.
97 was the last one I liked. Chris Rock hosted. That was the first time that he hosted. And you just had Jamiroquai, Marilyn Manson. You had everybody.
Boy,
Dustin
Jamiroquai was
loves
hot.
some Jamiroquai.
I was on that for like 2 weeks.
I just have no
Everybody
memory
else was-
now of
Dustin
10
had,
past ones. I don't know. Again,
all a
MTV is
blur.
not a video channel.
Dustin-
Why
No.
are you tuning in for
Dustin-
this?
Dustin had conveyor belts installed from his room to the bathroom so he could do like Jamiroquai. When he woke up
I'm like,
in the morning.
what the hell are we
I
talking
didn't
about?
know where you're going with that.
Jamiroquai! Come on!
Jamiroquai.
Do we know who's performing?
Yes.
Is
Beyonce
there-
for sure. Maybe Beyonce's the big.
She's-
Are there
Well,
going
no,
to
no,
be?
you said Ariana
Get a
Grande.
Is
band
anybody performing that is going to have instruments on the stage with them?
No.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
There'll be
which they're playing.
instruments on the stage. Now, whether they're actually played or not is the question.
I don't know if there's any kind of band with instruments now at this Video Music Awards. There might be a DJ up there
What
or
is
something.
what is the big rock song?
You've got me.
There isn't.
Come
Who's
on.
hosting the damn thing?
Are there any VMAs on
You
this
know
year?
what? I'm not sure there's a host.
There
I
may
think
not
this
have a
might be a hostless.
I think they gave up.
one.
It
I mean,
may
one year
be
they-
where someone comes out and introduces a band, and then
Which honestly,
That's
that's
it.
probably the best way to do the MTV one.
Well, there's just no personality.
Iggy Azalea.
Is hosting?
Oh, they had
No.
the video of her
Devin's
falling.
just-
out.
Oh, her falling. Yeah. It
For
was,
those of you who are watching on Channel 4, Devin is showing Iggy Azalea's
look
picture
that up.
on
You can
his
find
phone.
that real quick, probably.
Yeah, type in Iggy Azalea's
falls.
horticulture falls. Iggy Azalea.
I know. She's
Now,
Petey
of course,
Petunia. That's her.
the
DJ.
other weird thing. Well, True Blood ends tonight. Boo hoo.
I haven't. I haven't
True Blood
even
ended
watched
for
it.
me several years ago.
I haven't
Kinda
even
like the
watched
VMAs.
it. Hardly.
The Emmys, I don't know how this all
That's on
cosmically happened, but the Emmys are airing tomorrow night.
Yeah,
They're
why
airing on a
are- why are
Monday
they on a
night.
Monday night?
No
I-
idea.
Oh, they didn't want to go up against the juggernaut that is the VMAs.
Now, to be fair, the Emmys they're not that great. They're no Golden Globes. The Golden Globes is the best award
End
show
all be
because
all Golden
everybody
Globes.
gets liquored up.
Right.
I don't know the last award show I actually watched, and I was never into watching award shows for movies and stuff like that.
You're an idiot.
Oh, come on,
You
the
are an
Oscars.
idiot.
You watch the Oscars,
No,
probably.
never. I've
Never? Not even
You're
when
an
go to
idiot.
movies.
Billy
You
Crystal
need to go to
hosted?
I
movies.
know that's.
Oh,
You
he
know-
doesn't watch movies.
I invited Sam to go to Sin City, the second one. He was like, I haven't seen the first one.
We went to see it. You
Would
don't
you
have to see
need
the
it?
first
Okay,
one.
would you need to see the first one?
No.
Not necessarily. I've seen
You
it.
don't go. You don't really go to
In
Sin
fact,
City for the story.
there's a
It's-
character from the first one in the second one played by different actors in both movies.
Oh,
in the
okay.
first one, Clive Owen played Dwight, and in the second one, Josh Brolin plays Dwight. And then
Clive Owen was in the first Sin
Clive
City.
Owen,
I don't
or
have
Clive
a memory of
Warren
that.
for you Carl Pilkington fans.
But
it's you go to Sin City.
2 was
It's cool to watch
Yeah.
because
It looks amazing. From what I understand, no actors were ever in the same room with each other. Josh Brolin said he was never in the same room with
he wanted
with
to work
Mickey
with
Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, and he said,
It's kind of like how people
And
record
Mickey
albums.
Rourke and Josh Brolin are together in the movie for long periods of time.
Yeah,
and
but they
apparently
never saw
were
each
never
other.
Oh.
Now, Lady
in the same
Gaga
room.
is in it, right?
Yes, for
a
like 2 minutes.
see, Sam, there
Okay.
you go.
I
Lady
did not
Gaga.
know that. I did not know that.
So
Right.
I tell you this. If you watch the first one, you'll like this one. It's got Marv, it's got Dwight, it's got Rosario Dawson.
Why so long between sequels?
And Eva Green is pretty much
Naked
nude
the entire
throughout the
time.
movie. And if you don't know who Eva Green is, she is.
if she's not naked, she's in the process of taking her
Right.
clothes off. That's all that there is.
And Jessica Alba,
yeah.
on
Who
record,
is in the first movie?
the worst stripper in the world. Never takes one stitch of clothing off.
Great dancer, bad
Comes out,
stripper.
dances, and then leaves, and everybody's cheering. I don't know how she keeps the job. She's the worst stripper ever. Eva Green should have been
Yeah.
Nancy because at least she is naked the whole time. Stupid. That was
So-
so mad.
But what's cool about it is just the way that they shoot it, the way that they work the color, the black and the white. Like one of the cool things was I don't know if you paid attention to it. There's a big explosion, and when the explosion goes off, the light that it emits from it actually shines color on everything
Oh,
around. It was
cool.
really
Oh,
cool.
no,
But if you really weren't looking, you'd never see it. But it was really cool.
The first one was brilliant.
Yes, it was.
I loved the first one. Thought it was great. They
Long.
Yeah,
Yes.
about 2.5 hours long. But this one's only an hour and 40 minutes long, which was great. But the second one just kind of, after the first one was so good, it's just like, all right. The story wasn't that great. Here's what the second one made me want to do. It made me want to go home and Google best film noir movies and then see if Netflix had them.
It makes you want to go watch the Maltese Falcon.
Maltese Falcon, Big Sleep. What's the one? I think it's Sam Spade, and they're after this briefcase, and it's the opening up and the light shines out of. I'm sure that's where.
Is that the one where they did the
Tarantino-
cobwebs and everything?
Yeah.
Or was that a Philip Marlowe?
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
Philip
Philip
Marlowe. I
Marlowe.
can't remember for the life of me what it was, but it had to do with some sort of nuclear material or
Now,
something.
I saw on the net you can see the brief little teaser for Hateful Eight, right?
Yes,
With Sin City.
it is brief. Nothing is in it. It's all
And
drawing.
I told Lee as it started, I said it's just going to be text, and sure enough, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Well, I
but
knew
it
that
was
going
really,
in.
it was
Yeah,
really
it was
cool.
neat.
But
And hopefully it'll end up being that because you remember the script leaked and he's like, I'm not going to do it. But now there's this teaser trailer.
Well, this
out.
movie almost essentially takes place in one building because
Yeah, it's in a
they're
cabin.
stranded
They're
in
stranded.
a cabin during a blizzard. So it'll probably be one. And I think they already did it where they had a read of it, where they just had some actors there and they just read it. This was maybe this Of course, a lot of Tarantino's could be turned into plays because a lot of it is just dialogue.
Right.
That's-
Really, yeah.
You know,
that is
Reservoir
true.
Dogs pretty much takes place in the warehouse with the cop and Michael Madsen.
Should they take Tarantino to Broadway? Is that what?
I don't know.
Reservoir Dogs would be. I bet that would be a hit on Broadway.
Yeah,
if
you
they
could do
brought
that
it to
on Broadway.
Hey,
Especially when they cut the ear off.
I've got news. I actually watched a new TV show.
Oh, shit!
That wasn't the Goldbergs.
That wasn't the Goldbergs.
Really?
It
Wait a
on
minute. Did
cable.
it take place in this present
decade.
day?
Present day.
Oh, shit.
Sure
Wow.
I'm sure it was Halt and Catch Fire. That had to be what it was, wasn't it?
No. It was Black Jesus.
Yes! That's
We're all about
Black Jesus.
Oh, we are down with
I
Black
tell
Jesus.
you what, it reminds me, it's kind of a mixture of Friday
Yeah.
and what kind of when you got Charlie Murphy. So you got a little Chappelle show thrown in.
Yeah.
I think
And
Charlie's
one of the
playing a
father-
little older than he's playing an older character than he actually is. I think that John Witherspoon would be better playing Charlie Murphy's part.
John Witherspoon's not mean enough to do it. Charlie
That's
Murphy
true.
is an asshole. You can tell Charlie
Oh,
Murphy's
yeah.
an asshole.
Yeah.
Charlie Murphy.
I wish they had. What was the other guy that did a lot of on Chappelle's show? Rollins.
Yeah, Daryl. Is it Daryl Rollins?
Donnell.
Donnell
Rollins.
Rollins.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I'm rich, bitch.
I'm rich, bitch. He's really good.
But I saw one episode
In
Thursday,
the face.
and it was the third
Did you watch the
episode.
one where they were arguing? He's upset.
Yeah, he's upset. That's what it is. That's what it is. It is a good show. It's based around. We didn't watch the first one. We
I
caught
haven't
the
seen
second one and the third one.
I
We
saw the
missed the
third
first one. And it's basically there's a black dude who says he's Jesus.
Walking around Compton.
Yeah.
Compton.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like what he would be like if he was one of us.
Yeah.
I guess.
If he was
present day,
present day living in Compton, that's Jesus.
he'd be growing pot.
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're trying to grow weed in a community garden in Compton.
And they had to pay a local Hispanic gang $600 a month for the local lot that they're wanting to
And
use.
it's I don't know, it's the characters that make it funny cuz some of the there's not really a jokey show,
It's
but
just the way they react to
yes.
things.
It's like Friday. It's the characters, the way they react to each other. It's more of an ensemble type effort, but I love it. It's on Adult Swim
Thursdays.
Thursdays on Cartoon Network.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Now, another comedy show we've been watching on is at IFC, Independent Film Channel, Garfunkel and Oates.
Yes.
I know
I
who they are,
dropped
but-
a bunch of my cable channels this summer. I'm going to get them back, but see, because I can't watch this Simpsons marathon right now, and it's killing me. The FXX.
It's how many-
We watched 2 or 3
it's all
episodes
the
last night.
episodes.
2.5 weeks though to get
Yeah.
12 or
12 days.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Garfunkel and Oates. I was hoping I could hold out for that, but I'm
I
gonna have
told
to watch
Dustin.
it in reruns.
I don't know this after the second episode. I told Dustin I don't know if it's Broad City, but it's
Broad City.
getting pretty close. And then after this last episode, I think maybe
Broad City.
Broad City is way dumber and stonier. It's a more
It's
of a
also,
stoner,
but
dumb
it's also
stoner
there's a whole lot. Broad City is a whole lot more rapid pace. There's just a lot of stuff
Yeah.
coming right
a lot
at
of
you.
stuff. They
Right.
fill a lot of stuff in 30
But
minutes.
Garfunkel and Oates is like Broad City except dry,
Yes.
just really really dry.
And nothing crazy, really outlandish, really happens. But
Now, is it skits or is it a whole
No, it's a
episode?
show.
of
No, like
plot?
this
Oh,
last
okay.
this last episode, one of their friends had a guy
it
friend.
was Nick
had,
Thune, if you know
Nick
who.
Thune, yeah,
Yeah.
Nick Thune had a girlfriend who
Never spoke.
never spoke to them, like never
Right.
spoke a word, and they would ask specific questions, and she just
And
oh, you know,
and Ricky, I know Ricky is her name. I don't know the name of the other one.
Garfunkel.
The blonde.
Garfunkel.
Kate? Is it Kate?
But yeah, maybe that's what it is. Said that she's pulling the Little Mermaid, and I never watched the Little Mermaid, so she had to explain it. Where the Little Mermaid gave up her voice to become a real woman or
Right.
something like that.
It's like
Well, she had her,
Superman.
she had her
never knew that.
voice taken away so she could.
never knew that.
Yeah, I never knew.
Yeah.
So they said that she was playing, she was pulling the Little
Oh.
Mermaid. She wasn't talking.
Right.
And that's why that Nick was so in love with her, but they were like, but Nick doesn't seem like the type of guy that. So they decided they were going out on a double blind date, and they decided to pull a Little Mermaid, and
and not speak.
hijinks ensued. But it's every show they break down and have a song which is kind of Flight of the Conchords.
Now in the last episode, they were doing a song
about sports.
Yeah, well, they did one about sports, but they also in the last episode, though, I think it was last episode, they had a porn version of them. There was a porno based around
that
their
was the second
Garfunkel.
episode.
That was the second episode. And
That
so,
was what was it?
it's something in butts. I can't.
Butt finger and
No,
something.
it was something. It was something and butts instead of oats. It was
I
butts.
think it's
but
Garfinger and butts.
Garfinger and butts.
Garfinger and butts. They were
And
the
so-
porn version.
And they actually came up with like a porn song in their
Right.
style, and then
Yeah.
then they ultimately started competing with them, and they got real hot. So then they were asked the Garfunkel hosts were asked to open for them.
That's
So
funny.
for a lot of money. So
said it's a lot of money, and their agent is a puppet. So
Oh,
Really?
yeah, he's like he's
voiced
a puppet.
by Chris Parnell, I believe.
Yeah.
So Garfunkel and Oates, I think they're also a Thursday night show on IFC.
because that's normally when they show. What was the other Thursday thing they show? Anyway, I'll have to get it back by the time Portland.
Thursday night's our big night. We got Garfunkel and Oates. We've got Black Jesus. We got Big Brother. We've got NXT wrestling. You got Ridiculousness. You got Snack Off.
Snack Off. Have you all watched this show?
I haven't
No.
heard of it, I don't believe.
The one thing about Snack
Oh,
Off,
it's
it's
great.
interesting because they just bring in
Regular
seemingly
Regular
regular folks,
folk.
but at the end of it, they get $1,000. I mean, they're playing
The Golden
for
Sport.
but they get a
giant
fake,
sport. You know the Run DMC giant
the
gold
giant
chain,
like inch thick chain, and it has got a big golden
giant
spork on it.
Sport
sport.
at the end of it.
And they get their recipe put in the
And
Snack Off
apparently they're going to
cookbook.
have a cookbook, and some of them are just insane.
So what they do is that they'll give them a limited amount. It's like Chop. They'll give them a limited amount of food, and they have to make a snack in like 20 minutes. It's basically for stoners and drunks.
Sounds like
Yeah,
When
but
you
I mean,
get
it'll be
home-
like
when you get home after a night of drunkenness and you look in the refrigerator and you just make something out of just all the shit you've got in your refrigerator.
and
That's
then
basically
and
what it
then
is.
in the
And
last
sometimes
round,
it works, and a lot of times it don't.
and then in the last round, they have the opportunity to make anything that they want. They have some ingredients they must include, but then they have all kinds of crap,
Snacktopia.
Twinkies and snack cakes and cereal and just crap to come up with something. And
Yeah,
the best part about it is that one of the judges is Chrissy Teigen, one of them's a comedian, and the other one is an honest to God actual chef.
He hates
And
everything they put out there.
What is great
I
is
imagine.
whenever they give him the plate and he's got a fork, and he just puts
shakes
a
his
fork
head
in
like-
it, and he'll just like put a forkful in his mouth and literally just throw the fork
And
down.
then
Like,
he'll
I
put his
can't
hand-
believe I'm doing this.
And
Oh,
then
it's so
sometimes he'll be like, God, I can't believe it, but I like this.
The mystery munchie.
What are you talking about here?
yeah,
Oh.
there it is right there.
Well, while we're discussing the show, Devin is watching it.
Yeah,
So,
that's the MTV of today, Sam.
It's,
But the weird, I just can't get
it's
over.
just a fun, brainless
Yeah.
bullshit
Yeah.
show.
I just
Comes on
can't get
after
over that they're
ridiculousness.
competing for $1,000. I mean, they have to be.
I'd
straight
straight up kick everybody here in the nuts for $1,000.
Well, but I mean, I guess they don't really say where they're from, because if they're not from like a 12 block area of the studio,
I'd say they're
I can't
from
believe
there.
that. It's not like, I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming. And you're just like, oh well,
Right.
here's footage of you in your kitchen cooking. It's like, no, that's not happening. I'm from just down the street.
And sometimes one of the guys
in the audience.
One of the guy worked at a sandwich shop, so he had a little bit of
knowledge.
And one person worked at like a diner, so some of them do have knowledge, but then some of them just come out with horse shit, and you're just like, good God, why would you put
One
those
girl
two together?
made like a ball, just a ball, just rolled up some stuff, but she like literally took like donuts, tore the donuts apart, and like a Twinkie, and like smashed it all together and put it like on a stick. And literally imparted heat on nothing. Did not
Yes.
cook a damn
If they
thing.
deep fried it, though.
Yeah, if they deep fried it though, at least you could say, well, I did somehow
That could be a
change the
fair
chemical
mixture.
composition of this donut.
Yeah, a lot of them they just don't do. They just like thaw shit out and put
Like,
them on
screw
a
it
plate.
here.
That reminds me of the PA at the ball game the other night. Deep fried Oreos. I almost went, but I was like, damn, it's too hot to eat.
Whoa! They
had
got deep fried Oreos.
Yeah, at the football game.
And
yeah.
funnel cakes.
Looks
Yeah.
like I'm going to have to go to my first football game in 20 years.
Yeah, it's not going to be in the next 2 weeks, I don't think.
Why not? Oh yeah,
They're
we're
Maybe
on the road.
3.
Lord. hot.
Oh Lord, it was hot. I mean, if the humidity had been any higher, it'd just been raining.
Yeah.
It was so thick. And the
pretty
thing about
bad.
it it was only like
It did rain.
73 degrees later on that night, but it was so hot outside.
Oh no, it rained first Saturday night. That stupid ass rain came in right in the middle of a damn UFC fight night. We missed we missed the end of one whole fight and the first 2 rounds of another fight. Pissed me off. Want to see some people beat the shit out of each other.
But we did get to see 2 guys that literally had no style at all. It was just keep moving forward, keep throwing punches.
They were just flailing, beating the stew out of each other. Interesting thing, Dustin and I. Well, Dustin half watched. I watched. This is why this is going to what's going to sell the WWE Network. They had a documentary type deal called Journey to SummerSlam: The Shield, and they basically took the Shield, Rollins, Ambrose, and Roman Reigns, and did like a whole, here's how they came up, here's where they are today, and here's them getting ready for SummerSlam. It's kind of like one of those. It's like all their little documentary type videos. Whereas I hear that the Cena and Lesnar one was more of like a HBO boxing 24/7, where they follow the fighters as they get ready leading up to the fight.
Right.
Whereas this one went back, it showed a lot of footage from Ring of Honor and the independent scenes of Ambrose and Rollins.
What a
coming up.
DVD would have been like if they had.
It would have been like if they'd put out a 2-disc DVD, that would have been on one, and then their best matches would have been on the other. But it was exclusively on the network, which they need this kind of shit to get people to come on. It was really good.
Is it time to give up on the DVDs? It's selling those.
Not really.
It's time to give up on DVDs.
They keep putting them out.
period.
They just put out the Paul Heyman DVD. Don't you know? I want to watch the Paul Heyman DVD.
But could they put it on the network and done just as well to
No.
not even bother to sell
No,
it?
not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Because you're talking about they're selling that thing for what? $18 probably.
Probably.
So you can sell $18 for that DVD or 2 months of the network.
But they did, of course, give up $60 pay-per-views for you can get it for $10
true.
a month.
Yeah, but it's a 6-month commitment.
I just don't know how many people are going away. I've given up on DVDs myself. I don't think I've bought any in the last 3 years.
I haven't bought any. Yeah, I haven't either. I don't buy DVDs anymore. You get too many streaming services, so why do it?
That's true.
And the clutter in the house.
if you have like a Chromecast or an Apple TV or a Roku, if you can't get it on Netflix or Hulu or something, you can at least
Just
rent
wait
it
longer.
Yeah.
on there. So
That's why I wonder who's actually buying albums. You'll see a lot of these artists that hadn't had a hit
Hippies
in 40
and
years,
hipsters.
and then all of a sudden they have a #1 album, and
it doesn't take much to have a #1 album anymore.
Apparently
You
not.
know, it's just weird.
There'll be people buying DVDs to the.
It's basically come back around to a 50s mentality where you put out a record, and a record is a song with a B-side. It's a 45 is what
Right.
it is.
Right.
So
That's what you might. That's what all artists might as well do now. They ought to do like the band Down is doing. One of my favorite bands, good stoner band, heavy as shit. They're putting out like a 4 or 5 song EP about every 6 to 8 months and touring off of that.
yeah.
And
And used to albums were compilations of the hit songs that had been released.
and touring is where you make your money today anyway.
That's
so,
true.
And we're talking about the other day, a few weeks ago, Foo Fighters.
Foo-foos.
Yeah, and they were
saw
going
the
to
trailer
start
for
accept-
their,
people were putting up a campaign. If they raised enough money, they would come to their town.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that
oh
seems
yeah,
like,
they did that. They did that. It's probably still on YouTube. It was really cool. They basically would just come to your house. And one of them that was really good is they went to
a
farm in Iowa or something, and they had one of the gigantic 8-wheeled, double axle 8-wheeled tractors, and the guy
GPS
that was there,
and air conditioning.
yeah,
all that
GPS,
shit.
air conditioning, but the biggest tractors you can buy basically. And the guy said, "Yeah, I play guitar. Would it be cool if I, played a song or two with you?" And he was like, "If you let me drive that tractor." And it had a disc hooked up to it, and he went and hung the sumbitch up.
That's
Out in the field. I mean, 8 wheels. Wow, and
gosh.
he's just burying it. So.
But that sounds like an MTV stunt from years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Did they do that?
they just went into his garage. Of course, he had a big shop.
Who was it?
A big farm.
Who was it that you?
Bon Jovi came to your house.
Got a
I remember
chance
that
to-
No,
one.
you won his house, didn't you? His childhood home.
I thought that was John Mellencamp.
So he just went to
Mellencamp.
his house. How great
Sister?
is that?
John Mellencamp, you won a house and he painted it.
Didn't Twisted
Painted it
Sister,
pink.
Right.
Didn't Twisted Sister or like Alice in Chains or somebody? There was a contest that you could get them to play in your backyard.
I thought Bon Jovi did that.
Somebody
one.
did in
Maybe
Indianapolis.
Twisted Sister.
Somebody came to Indianapolis, and this was like late '90s, and Kurt Loder wouldn't go because he was like, "I'm not going to fly out to somebody's house."
Screw
And-
Kurt Loder.
Well,
Although
the Foo Fighters.
apparently Tabitha Soren, bigger asshole than Kurt Loder, at least according to that book, The History of.
But the Foo Fighters, whenever they went to that farm, they had a big, huge shop, so they had a bunch of people in there. But they went to some places that had like a single car garage, and they played in it.
Yeah.
So
Well, speaking of Foo Fighters, I saw the trailer for their
New show.
HBO show. Looks
Did
like
you see
What?
Sound City?
pretty good. They went to
Sound City was
excellent.
awesome.
Yeah.
They went to several different cities and
They
wrote
came to
songs.
Nashville, didn't they? Go to Nashville.
Yeah, they went to Nashville, one Chicago, I think New Orleans, and they tried to incorporate a little bit of whatever that city is musically
Known for,
famous
yeah.
for or whatever into the songs. And
cool.
Now, did
So-
you hear? This happened a few weeks ago, but there was this big.
Dave Grohl got shot 6 times.
No, it wasn't Dave Grohl. The studio, what was it? Studio A in Nashville. They were going to.
Oh, they were going to close it down, but they're trying to raise money to keep it
Well,
open.
Ben
or-
Folds moved out because the guy that bought it raised the rent so damn high, and
Right.
he just walked out anyway.
the rent's
So
too
it's kinda-
damn high.
Yeah.
Ben Folds, what about the 5? The 5 couldn't help him?
They couldn't all chip
Apparently
in.
not. No.
Assholes.
He folded.
He
That's a
folded.
great band, by the way. If you
Never
just
heard of
have an inkling,
Have you
I've
seen?
heard of
I watched a.
I get
One
I get
Angry
him-
Dwarf was my favorite.
I get
Ben
Ben
Folds.
Folds mixed up with Rufus Wainwright.
And the Dave Clark Five?
Isn't there another Ben? Didn't they form a group of Bens?
Wasn't there
There's
a Ben from
Folds.
Australia?
Yeah, that guy, that Ben guy. Ben Ober.
what is his name?
Harper.
I don't remember his name.
There's Ben Harper. There's Ben Queller. There's Ben.
That's Big Queller. Big
But I'm
Queller.
trying to think of the guy from Australia. Ben
I
Lee.
thought that was Ben
Isn't that
Harper.
his name? Lee is his last name.
I thought Ben Queller was the guy from
I thought
Australia.
Ben
No,
Harper was
that's
from
somebody
Australia.
else. No, Ben Harper's from here.
Ben Harper is married to Laura Dern. He's from here, man. He's an old bluesman.
And then there's
Oh,
Ben
that's
Ben Taylor, the son of James Taylor. He does music.
He's
so-
seen fire and he's seen rain.
They both kind of suck. I saw a trailer last night for "Take Me to the River." It's about the
Talking
Memphis.
Heads?
No, it's
Oh.
about the Memphis sound stacks and all them.
Stax.
They're bringing all the
Ooh,
old
Stax.
artists back, and then they're bringing in, like it said we're bringing in all the old artists from back in the day. And bringing in the new artists, and like Snoop Dogg was there, and I was like,
Oh,
Snoop
boy.
Dogg ain't never been on this side of the Mississippi, much less
kidding me?
recording in Memphis.
Snoop Dogg's got a summer home in Memphis.
And let me guess, Jack White was there.
No, it wasn't.
Really?
No,
Oh,
it
I
was.
would've guessed
it
it.
was Terrence Howard. I mean, he's kind
Jack
of the.
White is not Stax.
No, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have.
Jack White just likes everything.
but
Yeah.
they're going to have to do now. This is about
I'm not
about
having
kind
you say
of.
anything bad about Jack White.
Yeah, really.
I didn't
Mr.
say anything
Luger.
bad about
This is going to this looks like it's going to be a lot about going over the history and the old music, but they're like recording new music too.
What were we watching the other night where the dudes were trashing Lex Luger on the network?
Oh, it was one of the Legends of Wrestling thing.
They were talking about how crappy. No, it was the Monday Night Wars where Eric Bischoff was like, Lex Luger was free and, the WWE didn't really want him and I didn't really want him and
They
he's a
hated
big
him.
headache. He's not any good.
This
but
is a
Sting-
dynamite segue, by the way.
But Sting talked me into it, so I went ahead and I lowballed him. I offered him $100,000, expecting him
I think-
never to accept it. He accepted it.
I
We're
think
like,
the
"Well,
WWF
table.
got mad because he just didn't give him any advanced warning.
Eric
and
Bischoff
split.
said, "Don't give him any notice." And
Well,
he
that's
didn't.
Bischoff's fault. Bischoff also said, "Hey, give away the spoilers and say Mick Foley
If
won the
Bischoff
title."
told him to jump off a bridge, you think he'd jump off a bridge? Probably. He's Lex Luger. He's
What
an
happened to
idiot.
Bischoff? What's he doing these days?
Is he still TNA?
He's making stupid Devil's Ride. I hate
He's an
that
executive
fucking
producer of The
show.
Devil's Ride. That hard hitting real.
Have you ever
biker
seen
show
it? It
on
is.
Discovery.
Never
It
heard.
is
Horrible.
It
Is he with Jason Hervey? Are they working together, putting stuff together? Okay.
They're part of it.
It is like
he lives out in Colorado
the,
somewhere. He
So he's not associated with wrestling.
He's not associated with... Okay. Well,
it is like
You
the
really
the,
need to start listening to the Stone Cold podcast and JR because they both had him on there talking about.
well the Devil's Ride is like the Discovery
Stone Cold had him on for
mockumentary,
3 shows.
like the mockumentary on
JR
Discovery
only had him
Channel
on for 1.
about the shark, except This is about supposedly, when it starts out, like it was supposed to be a legit motorcycle gang
In San Diego.
in San Diego, and they're just, they were new and all this other stuff. And it got so stupid because they were beefing with the rival gang, and then the motorcycle gang didn't like the leader, and he split off and started his own motorcycle club, and all this
he
other
got
stuff.
arrested for molesting.
But
his
every
stepdaughter.
time it ever got to the point where there was going to be violence, all of a sudden the cameras were just, we didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is the biggest bunch of crap ever.
What channel is this on?
It was on Discovery. I don't know if it still is.
It was on Discovery after Fast and Loud.
Now, to be fair though, one
Even
of
I
the
gave
crazy,
up on the last
one of the crazier dudes on the show did get arrested for attempted murder, but
Really?
yeah, I mean, they're trying to live
It
the
was
life, I
sweeps
guess.
month. It was sweeps
Oh.
month.
Yeah, well, it wasn't on the show. It was,
okay.
just later on. 'Cause
They could exploit
You
it.
get on because they're on Twitter, and it's really fun to see the stuff that they're talking about on Twitter. And one of the guys that was in the club actually had a motorcycle accident and died. So I mean, I guess that helped. Yeah, I mean, it helped, but it was still
Yeah, it
such
helped
a,
to get his character on the show.
oh my god, it's such a horrible show. Like, the last thing I remember seeing on the show was the new club that kind of splintered off from the original club brought somebody in, and the dude didn't even own a motorcycle. And they were like, well, you're going to have to get a motorcycle if you want to join the club.
I just saw on
like,
Spin
yeah, no.
magazine or Spin.com or whatever they are online, the top 10 richest bass players in the world.
Gene Simmons, number one.
No.
Really? All the money he's after?
What bass player, obviously,
Sting?
is number one in the world?
Bootsy Collins.
Let's put it this way. He's worth $1.2 billion, and the second one is worth $300 million.
Lemmy?
Roger Waters?
The Edge.
He's a
guitarist. Never mind.
freaking Beatle, for crying out loud.
Oh,
Paul McCartney.
grr.
Well,
Yeah,
Blah.
of course.
I can hear the disgust in your voice.
Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Lemmy's not in the top 10.
He's been spending a lot of money on.
Lemmy doesn't make any money. Lemmy's not made any
Yeah,
money.
I know.
He's worth about $100.
Where is Gene? As much money as he whores himself
Gene
out
Simmons tied for second with the man called Sting, $300 million. Roger Waters number 4, 270.
who's number 3? Well,
there. Give us a hint on 5 and see if we can figure it out.
Number 5, the band is still producing music. One of the top touring bands every time they go out.
whoever plays bass for
Bruce
U2.
Stones? Who plays
Dustin
bass
got
for
it.
the Stones?
Whoever plays bass for U2, Adam Clayton.
Adam Clayton,
I couldn't have come
You
up with
want to
that.
take a guess at number 6? Number 6, also putting out new music. They haven't had a good one since 1993,
Trujillo?
94.
94.
Winger. Kip Winger on the list?
No, Kip Winger's not. He's like a one-hit one.
I know.
You people disgust me.
Okay, so
Well, who plays bass
He's a
for the
one-word.
Stones?
He's a one-word name. Bill Wyman. Now, Bill Wyman doesn't play bass for the Stones anymore.
Well, who does play bass
Daryl
for the Stones?
Jones.
Daryl Jones.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Daryl Jones is not on the list either, or Bill Wyman.
Wait, they okay.
Number 6 is a one-word name. Bass player. Also shares a name with an insect.
Flea.
Flea.
Oh, yeah. Durr.
Number 7 is this band is no longer together, but this bass player joined up with a supergroup several years ago to put out an album.
Michael Anthony.
And no,
No?
Michael Anthony's not on the list.
Good guess.
That is a good guess because there's only so many supergroups out there.
Yeah.
The supergroup also had
Duff.
someone.
Duff McKagan.
No, supergroup also had someone in it that we just were talking about not more than 10 minutes ago. He played the drums.
Oh, Dave Grohl of Foo Fighters.
Supergroup with Dave Grohl,
Chris
a bass
Novoselic?
player who's number
Really?
6. No, Led Zeppelin's John Paul Jones.
Oh.
Them Crooked Vultures.
I was thinking about, yeah.
Black Sabbath, Geezer Butler's number 8. Tony Kanal, No Doubt's number 9, and Chris Novoselic's number 10.
What? The
I
last
just
three,
couldn't
I'm not
handle
sure.
this torture anymore.
I'm disgusted that the No Doubt bass player is on the list.
Yeah.
kidding
That
me?
is pretty stupid.
What's the
Make a
last
ton
time
of
they
money.
did anything?
$45 million.
They make a ton of money.
I guess.
No doubts.
45 million.
That's what it says.
That's a band that just faded away, even though Gwen Stefani's on The Voice now, or is going to be on The Voice.
They made a ton of money just to come back and tour that one time.
I guess so. Because this is just not their
as long
time
as you save
period,
your
I
money.
guess.
No, not anymore. I mean,
Now, see, Bush, I think, is coming. Well, she's
Bush.
married to what's his name, but they're coming back
married
with
to
some new
Mr.
music.
It's kind of. I mean,
my
that's,
brother calls him Mr. Gwen Stefani.
Mr. Gwen Stefani's
His
band's
name's
coming
Mr.
back.
Pete Bush.
Oh, Bush was the worst.
I kind of
Oh, my
liked him.
Listerine.
Yeah, I
Listerine.
didn't like that.
They were a horrible Nirvana ripoff.
And they
God,
their
they're so
chorus,
funny,
Much like Silverchair.
all the choruses
Much like
of
every
their
band
song,
that came out 10 years after Nirvana.
all the choruses of their song were just repeating the name of the song over and over again.
I don't even remember the rest of theirs.
I don't either. Listerine's all right.
Well, they did Everything Zen. That was
I don't
the
remember how it went.
That was the good song. No, the good song was Machine Head.
God,
Everything Zen was
Machine
just-
Head.
Is that kind of like Skrillex, Sarah Lee?
I don't know. If
It
you're
was-
talking
it
about.
was-
No, Skrillex
yeah,
doesn't
it's
sing or play an instrument.
Oh.
He just manipulates keyboards and computers.
And
Well-
people into buying and paying hundreds.
Well, what
hundreds
it
of dollars.
what it makes me sound.
He's
what
not a bassist.
It just makes me sound. It's like you make it sound like he's making noise and Skrillex making noise. So
No.
You have
where
no
it goes
logic.
from.
Now, let's move on.
okay.
I've got a some I'll bring up. It might not take 2 minutes.
Devin thinks
but-
we're talking about a shrub. He doesn't know. He doesn't know Bush.
But it's something
Never
that Erin
mind.
posted on Facebook the other day about the ice water challenge. What the hell would you call that? What was it? It was
It was a Halloween costume.
yeah, it was a
Oh.
Halloween costume to make you look. But they used the word slack,
Slacktivism is what this is called.
I saw that.
Yeah.
and that's just a way to help out, but not really.
Well,
put
you
forth
do.
much of
You
an
are
effort.
supposed to donate money too after you
I
get
I thought you were
ice
supposed to
stuff
do
done.
it or donate money.
Devin
nobody
says no. Screw those bastards.
Yeah,
I've
but
dumped my head nice. I ain't giving them no money.
Technically, you're right. But nobody's ever going to say, well, someone challenged me to give money or do the Ice Bucket Challenge, and screw
Well,
you.
no, the
I've got
first
some ice
time-
and water. Screw the kids.
No, Devin, screw the kids. Devin hates
Oh,
the kids
now-
and anybody with a disease because they're weak.
But the other thing is now Lou Gehrig. I guess enough people don't know who he is. So
He
they
died a
just
long time ago.
changed
But
it.
sports guy.
Yeah, he's a
Right.
baseball player.
Yeah, it also
There you
turns
go.
out that he didn't have Lou Gehrig's disease.
Do you
Wow.
know?
Well,
Do you know? Dustin probably knows. Erin probably knows. This is for Sam and Devin. And Erin, if she doesn't know, she could.
I
join
could
in.
know.
She could chime in.
The nickname of Lou Gehrig.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
the Iron Man.
No,
The
you're close.
yeah, the Iron
Hand,
Iron
The Iron Side.
glove,
Iron.
fist.
Jeez.
Fist.
Penis. The iron penis. No, that was Babe Ruth.
Oh,
Babe Ruth
man.
is known as the flaccid penis.
No, now the Foo Fighters. That was a great ice bucket video
I
because
didn't
they
see it.
parodied Carrie. Have you seen it, Sam?
No, I heard
oh,
about
it's
it.
great.
But Ron Howard, I was actually in England, and he did his ice bucket challenge on Abbey Road, and I thought that would get a hell of a lot of press. He
yeah.
challenged Fonzie for God's
Now
sake.
everybody's getting in trouble out west because they're in a drought.
Yeah,
And
this
they're
is
like,
this has
"Oh,
become a little
they
bit.
They said it's an insignificant amount of water. It's like, well, no. They said they estimated that there's been like 8 million people out there that have done the ice bucket challenge, and typically they use a
They've
5-gallon bucket.
raised,
So then that's some millions of gallons of water.
And some people have used pools, but now somebody's coming out and saying it's a bad thing, like Pamela Anderson or something like it's.
She's citing animal cruelty for some reason, and I don't know where that fits into dumping water on your head.
The Iron Horse.
You
That
should-
was his
yeah.
nickname.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Shoot.
a liquor
He
store,
did.
wasn't it?
He did the ice bucket challenge just
Yeah.
recently. His
Um,
corpse.
did you see Amy Schumer? She dumped ice cream on top of her head, and they're
Was it
like,
ice
"It's
cream?
ice." Yeah, it was ice cream.
Oh.
I guess it was.
She
ice
challenged
cream.
Mel Brooks, Bob Newhart,
Don
and
Rickles.
Don Rickles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there have been some creative ones, and
I saw.
the Foo Fighters one. Was great.
Here's how we know we've taken it too far. Quit doing the ice bucket challenge. Just give the money. I saw The Undertaker do it.
You're kidding.
The Undertaker put out a YouTube video on Twitter. He's on Twitter now, by the way.
That's
Wait.
really him on
Yes,
there.
because in the picture he held up
Oh.
a sign, said it was him, and then the video you could tell that was him talking. It was shot at night. I don't know what they were thinking. You couldn't see a thing except for a porch light way back.
But who's going to tell him he's doing it
He
wrong?
challenged
you know?
Papa Shango amongst one of his.
Did you see Vince McMahon do the challenge?
Saw his.
No, but I saw
saw-
Stephanie.
I saw
Well, they did it on Raw. Dean Ambrose dumped
Yeah,
ice water on.
Rollins,
On
and then he said,
Rollins.
"What? It's for charity." And then he threw the bucket in his
And then they
face,
just
hit him in
went-
the face with the bucket. It
Yeah.
was great.
So would you all be willing to do
No.
the?
You know.
No, Sam.
I've made it this far without being challenged.
Aaron.
I'll just give money to ALS. Anybody can challenge me if you want to. I'll just give money.
I can get.
Now, the
I
one
don't
thing,
care. I
the one
mean-
thing that we have talked about is that when summer rolled around, all of a sudden cold water ice bucket challenges
Yeah,
are coming
it feels
around
great.
everywhere.
Actually, I would take that thing 10 times a day when I'm at work.
Right. Let's start doing this.
Yeah, but whenever winter rolls
start
around
doing
and all
this
you
in
got to
December,
do is
January,
yeah,
and see how
December
far
and
we get.
January start talking about
But what's
cold
good-
water challenges.
But
Then-
what are they going to do? Okay, let's discuss this. What will they do to alternate that, or will they alternate or just
It'll
say
probably-
keep
The
giving?
The hot water challenge.
It'll
just
die
wear
down
out.
by then.
It'll just die down.
Yeah, the fat
because they've
will be-
raised
By that point,
70
ALS
million.
will
Is the
be
last number I
cured.
saw.
That's right.
They'll cure it by that point.
Yeah. And this went on a few months ago. I was challenged, months
Well,
ago.
at first it was just called cold water, and now it's
Yeah.
called ice bucket. I mean,
Wait.
it's essentially the same.
Well, but cold, I mean, you know, there is a difference, but it was cold water in the beginning, and it was right at the end. It was like right in the spring, and people were actually jumping in water, and it was cold, blah, blah, blah. But then they just started pouring water on your head. I was like, you know, come on.
Yeah.
In the middle of the summer, big deal. It's
Yeah.
just-
What they need to do is start doing the urine challenge, having someone pee on their head.
yeah.
Some people pay
For,
good.
for prostate cancer.
Some people pay good money for that.
Well,
well,
Well, they're going to
video
pay it to
put it on
charity.
YouTube.
Uh,
I wasn't aware Devin was a fan of water sports. Most hated Roddy Piper. I watched the Roddy Piper video
Documentary?
on WWE.
Born to Controversy?
Yeah, I've already seen it, but I watched.
I've seen it too, but
It's
I don't know.
updated though. They've got newer interviews.
we're gonna have to
Yeah,
get
they
rid of
did a
Yeah.
dead giveaway.
We're going to have
with
to get
that,
rid of
though.
these magazines so we can stay away from
Okay, where do we go from here? We've
Terry
talked
Von
about-
Erich dead.
I thought you were going to say born.
We were talking about water sports. Are you sure this was kind of a welcome change?
Well,
I thought you were going to
Devin was
say
talking about water sports.
Roddy
I was talking
Piper.
about helping charities.
you're talking about people urinating on each other.
You were the one saying that you would pay good money for that.
No, I said some people would, not
Oh.
me.
I thought you were going to say
Some
Golden shower
people.
challenge.
Roddy Piper born to crunk.
Born to crunk, yes. He's a crumper from way back. You should have seen the time where he paid himself half black.
And he did. And he still can't explain it.
Yeah, it was a different time.
They did bleep some racist stuff. In fact, they cut out the part where in the back alley was the back lot brawl with the Gold Dust where they ripped his tights off and he was in women's lingerie. They just left that part out, and I don't think they did it in the DVD.
Did they ever bring back the Morton Downey Jr. segment of WrestleMania 5?
They showed it on.
Yeah,
They did,
showed
because
it.
they've been cutting it out for years.
There's
I'm
a
sure
Morton
it's on
Downey
there.
Jr. documentary on Netflix.
That's really good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw it.
it's good.
Yeah.
Somebody was
Really
saying the other day it
interesting.
was good. May have been Sam.
I think it was, and everybody Dustin kind of gave me that look
Yeah.
last time.
Dustin told you to shut up.
Does he need a documentary? I mean,
Sure he
God,
does.
they-
He's a
Documentaries,
fascinating
man.
guy. I didn't
He
know
was a
that
dude,
he was a,
man.
Well,
He
he
was
was a
Jerry
singer
Springer before
he
school.
became.
I have one of his albums, actually.
Really?
Of course
I have the
you
one
do.
that
exactly.
Yeah.
Sam has got an album by every asshole that you would never expect to have an album.
He's got that Bruce Willis album.
He's got the William
I do.
Shatner albums. Wait a minute. Now I had the Bruce. What was it
It-
called?
Return to Bruno.
Yeah.
yeah, it
I had
actually,
the cassette.
it wasn't
wasn't bad.
because they were all cover songs. All the cover songs were good, so therefore it was all right.
But it's weird because you could get away with being just a regular sounding bar band at the time.
Don Johnson, you know?
Well,
Oh,
Don
my
Johnson
God.
didn't have like bar band, but
Oh,
Huey
my God.
Lewis. Huey Lewis was just like a bar band that somehow hit it big.
Because they were good.
Bruce Springsteen is just some kind of a bar band that just hit it big.
Except everyone that's ever been in the band is now in the band, so
That's true.
it can't fit in a bar.
The only way he's kind of like the mafia. The only way you leave that band is death.
Pretty much.
Blood in and blood out. You know, they jump you in when you come in, when you
Yeah.
join the band. Like
Initiation.
yeah, they beat the shit out of you.
Except for Steven Van Zandt. I don't think they...
No, he's actually the leader.
Oh, okay.
But now, one thing on the Ice Bucket thing, just to go back to it, all these rock bands have done it. Kiss did it, Def Leppard did it they all did it on stage, and so did Motley Crue, too.
You know, but that's something they couldn't have done back in their heyday. That's just not anything...
No.
Their image, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like they didn't give a shit, but you just didn't see that coming.
Right.
And how did the makeup not come off?
They broke
Yeah, that's
kayfabe.
weird, too.
They got to keep it kayfabe.
How did
I
the
guess
makeup
they-
not? The makeup. It's
Okay,
It's
how did
just-
the wig-
it's so different now.
How did the wigs not come off?
I don't know, but
No,
everything was there.
What?
I think
What?
some of them's real hair.
What? What? You think Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley? That's their real hair?
I
What?
think that.
What? We watched the Stone Cold
Oh.
Yeah.
DVD too.
Yeah.
Think
What?
Okay.
Eric
You know how
might
it
be
started
real?
out?
I don't know.
You know how the what started out?
How?
Austin started it, I remember.
Right, but do you know how it started? What?
I don't remember.
Do you remember how it started? What?
I remember how Undertaker had to try to stop it.
Apparently he called Christian on the phone and he didn't answer, so he left like a 6-minute voice message,
Oh.
and he would say, "I'm fixing to go to the gym." What? I'm going to go work out. What? They kept doing the what.
Oh, my gosh.
They kept joking back and forth backstage for a while, and he said Christian was backstage. Yeah, they actually had Christian talking. He said he was backstage, and he said he was, and he started hearing Stone Cold saying, "What? What?" And he's like, "Oh no!" He started to do it out on the.
You got to watch out if you're a wrestler and McMahon catches wind of something about you. He will turn that into
A
your
rib.
character.
Because Dustin's going to enjoy this. We're going to go back into
Spiraling out of control.
The last Thursday Stone Cold podcast was part 2 of the Mick Foley interview. Fascinating stuff. You've got to, Sam, you're an asshole. You've got to listen to this. Mick Foley said that apparently Daniel Bryan is admittedly not a hugger. He doesn't like hugging people.
Not even his wife?
Well, I'm sure he does more than
Just
hug his wife.
his
Have you seen
personal.
her?
His personal space. He's not.
No,
Right.
he wants to
He's-
hug that
he's-
woman
he's
he's
not a
having an affair
hugger.
with.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily a hugger, but
Oh,
I want to see you and Dustin hug right now.
no, I've never hugged Dustin in my life. I'll straight punch him right in the face. But
Well, I'll video that too.
apparently, I guess McMahon or somebody found out about it. For a while, the Kane and Daniel Bryan, when they were Team Hell No, the gimmick was hug it out. So not only were they hugging each other just like every night, they were all hugging. Those two and Randy Orton had a very awkward and weird 3-way group hug.
so a good bet would be like, oh,
So it was a rib on Daniel Bryan.
Paige is all icky. I don't want to have anything to do with her
Right.
on television, McMahon.
I wouldn't want to AJ to physically attack me in any way or touch me. Dustin,
You
join
better
in.
jump in. You better jump
Join
into
in,
the
Dustin.
subject, Dustin.
I'll catch it when it comes back around in about 90 seconds.
All right, anybody else got anything? Golly, I can't talk about nothing on here without Dustin
We
shutting
don't
it
have
down.
No emails.
No emails.
Now, Nick's now sent out that picture of that
Has he been arrested?
piece of clothing that he found, children's clothing in the store
Oh,
the other day.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
that's great.
I-
You all don't know what we're talking about.
no, I.
Okay,
follow him
well,
on
just
Twitter.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, if you follow Nick on Twitter or follow at Bombay Gunrunner, I don't know. Just shut up. Why do we even talk about
No.
that? We're not gonna
I just
talk
keep
about
getting. I keep
it. It was
getting these.
racist.
Yeah.
Here's what it
Very
was. I'm
much
going to go ahead and explain it.
Explain it.
It was at a boutique of some sort, a store of some sort, and they had T-shirts that had like little kids' bodies on the T-shirt. So if an adult wore the T-shirt, or even if a kid wore the T-shirt,
Yeah, I remember
their
that.
head would look like it was on top of a little body on the T-shirt. And one of the shirts was like a little kid in camouflage. It was like fatigues or
Yeah.
something like that. It was camouflage.
Right.
And then another one was a monkey with a banana, like he was eating a banana in his hand. Well, that's all fine and great. But the clothes hangers this store employed was also like
Children's heads.
children's heads. And you had a little baby, and the little baby's head sticking up out of the shirt hole, the neck hole.
Can you say that
Neck
on the
hole.
podcast?
Can I say the
Neck
shirt
hole.
hole?
Neck hole.
We're going to have to bleep that. The shirt hole.
The what?
the shirt hole. And it looked like a little baby was, on
I think
the
it was
body
actually
of
like a baby
petite.
onesie, maybe, is
Yeah,
what
maybe-
that
maybe
was.
it was. And on the shirt that had the little monkey on it, they had a little baby of head of African American
Child.
He's, yeah.
It that's racist.
That's
That was
racist.
very
Yep.
racist.
It's
Yeah, that's
unfortunate.
racist, all right.
And I'm sure
Wow.
it was unintentional racism, but racism nonetheless.
Yes. I mean, that
That
could have
store should
started
be
a whole
ashamed.
campaign right there. Just
Well,
from
one
getting
of
on
I'm
the-
Twitter.
surprised I didn't hear about it. I'm surprised that didn't cause some giant kerfluffle.
How do we get people to follow us on Twitter and retweet some of these?
Well, one of the
Crimes
one of
against
the
humanity.
other racism things that I saw. This was actually, I guess, last week before
That's
we
racist.
recorded.
I'm getting it ready?
One of
Get
the
it down, boy.
one of the anchors on CNN. This was a Vine video. She suggested that maybe they should use water hoses on water cannons on the protesters.
Oh my god!
And her other anchor was a black guy, and he's like, his eyes kind of got wide.
And he,
It's like, I've got a cold water
and
challenge
he looked
for
into
you.
the camera and he said, "Did she just say what I think she just said? Am I actually here? Did this happen?"
Now, to be fair, she might have suggested that if it was a,
Honky.
Hot
Jimmy
day.
Buffett concert.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think probably
Have
should.
you? Did you all hear?
No.
I heard it on the radio. That's going around. Floyd Mayweather had to
Can't
do
read.
had to do a
Apparently-
liner for like a radio
Apparently,
station.
50 Cent offered Floyd Mayweather like $1 million, or maybe it was $750,000 to
$750,000.
read. What was it? To read
A page from one of the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, a page from one of the Harry Potter books. Because allegedly,
Religiously?
the story is Floyd Mayweather either can't read or is a very, very, very remedial reader.
He's a douchebag too, isn't he?
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen to Charlemagne the God like I do on the rig.
What are you talking about?
That's racist.
Charlemagne the God is a DJ, and on his show, he played
Oh, it's a he.
outtakes of Floyd Mayweather
Oh, okay.
reading
I
a
got you
liner
now. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the radio.
It was like, this is Floyd Mayweather, and
and Charlemagne the God, it's not the God,
The God.
read it himself and said, and I'm not the greatest reader in the world.
You're a
Not
DJ and you can't read.
Yeah, what the hell's up with that?
Strong swimmer. I'm not the greatest DJ in the world, but
Oh,
even I can read this. So they timed him. It took him like 10 seconds. I quit after about 25 seconds to listen to Floyd Mayweather get
Oh, he couldn't get through the first like six words.
get about halfway
He-
through a sentence and
he-
start over.
He started
And he
over
didn't know
three times.
he wasn't putting the correct emphasis on the right syllables.
Yeah.
I mean, he was screwing everything
He started
up.
over three times with "I'm Floyd Money Mayweather," like three times just to get through
It
that.
is hard.
It's hard to listen
I
to.
don't know which would be easier. To watch a video of someone getting run over by a train or listening to Floyd Mayweather get through that read.
Because at least the train thing's over like that. you know.
Like
Yeah.
that.
but they're both train wrecks, right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
I guess.
Oh,
Oh, wait,
Devin's listening
Devin's
to
got
that.
it.
Jam into it.
Put it up to the microphone. You
I
did.
can't.
Wait a minute. Why can't
Is
you?
there a curse?
Too many F bombs.
Oh.
There are.
Oh, I didn't hear
I
the
never
F-bomb.
heard it. I guess I quit before he started cussing.
But if
Save that for
someone,
after the show.
but
I
I mean,
retweeted. Go to @BombayGunRunner on Twitter. I retweeted Deadspin.
but what
put it out.
I heard on the actual radio, about 5 or 10 seconds into it, it's funny. But after that,
You're
kinda
like,
sad.
it
it's
starts
sad.
getting pretty sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it
But
really
you know
does.
what? If I'm worth about $200 million, why do I got to read?
But, I mean, is
I'll
that...
hire someone to read
So-
shit for me.
Has anyone questioned his educational background? He's been hit in the head too many times.
I don't
mean,
I don't know.
nobody knows.
But apparently 50 Cent
Was he an Olympic boxer?
doesn't like him.
Mayweather.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe?
know. Maybe.
I
I don't know.
Seems like he was.
It's weird because
I mean, that's got nothing to do with him going to school. But
Seems like he was.
I have to think that he was.
Well, maybe he cheated his way through to.
possibly.
They took the medals
I mean-
away from Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Because he cheated and he couldn't read.
Well, he could read.
No, Armstrong couldn't add.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't he couldn't do arithmetic. He could do simple math.
Yeah, that was
Lance, you got to know how those gears ratios work. If you can't do any addition and subtraction and like fractions.
I just want to see Mayweather's time end in the ring because I think he's a douchebag.
You want to see him killed in the ring?
No,
Oh,
I want to see
come
somebody
on.
kick his ass. No, I said that passing of the torch, and it's just.
I just
well,
want
he's
to
not
see-
this
I'm
in
not
the
sure
world
if that's
anymore.
racist
Yeah, I don't know.
or just Sam being a horrible human being.
See, here's what you can rest easy about, Sam, is that boxing is done. There's no reason.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
You're right.
Yeah, that's
Boxing
true.
is no more.
It's true.
What's your beef with Floyd Mayweather?
I just think he's a dick.
because he walks around with $1 million in a duffel bag.
No,
$1 million in a duffel
50
bag.
cents to,
Oh, he keeps $1 million
He was
on
on
it all the time.
ridiculousness, and he walked in. He just started pulling stacks of.
50
No, he
cents
said
does that too.
Wow.
Rob Dyrdek on Ridiculousness said, I heard a rumor that you walk around with $1 million with you, and he turned to his bodyguard off stage and said, "Hey, bring that up here." And he brought it up here,
He
opened it
started
up.
taking.
$1
He
million.
started taking stacks of $100.
Now,
bills.
whenever Rip Rap was on there, he literally just carried in his hand like $17,000. Like, what? He's like, and Rob said, "What are you doing with that money?" He's like, "Well, you never know, and there might be a nice car you want to put a down payment on or something."
Yeah, riffraff.
Wow.
Rip Rap is funny as hell.
but really, the only thing I ever knew about Mayweather was when he was. I don't want to move into wrestling, but that's when he was involved.
Okay.
And that's all I know about
And
him.
is
He
he
came off like a prick.
maybe a
and-
domestic violence past?
Yeah, he likes to beat women.
Okay.
Okay, that was what I didn't like about
Okay,
him.
well,
Perhaps.
I'm just saying.
remember.
Perhaps,
But yeah.
allegedly, I don't know. It seemed to me like he did some time for.
So
some
you all are
domestic
saying
disputes.
UFC's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
taken over the boxing
Oh, yeah.
world
Well,
as far as drawing fans.
until sorry, Dustin, close your ears. Until, like Jim Cornette says, two of the top fighters will get together and say, we should have some sort of a crazy ending here to set up a sequel, a
rematch.
part two, a rematch, because we'll make more money. We'll draw more money. That's how professional wrestling came to be professional wrestling. The two top guys were like, why are we out here beating the shit out of each other when if we do a little something funny and hinky there at the end to set up a rematch, we'll make more money. And we're the
goes on
two
and
best as long as we're the only two that know about it.
well, see the thing about MMA is that one, boxing, boxing, the whole great thing about boxing back in the day was that was the only legal form of fighting, and whoever was the best was considered the baddest man on the planet. Well, now,
And there were more athletes who went into boxing.
just like Dana White likes to say, even though he's Dana White, I'm halfway certain that Ronda Rousey could kick the shit out of Floyd Mayweather.
They were saying, they were
Bar
talking
none.
about it on Dan Le Batard, who would win in a fight, Ronda Rousey or Floyd Mayweather. And, of course, if they stand and trade blows, Mayweather would beat her.
Probably,
but if
yeah.
she got him on the ground, she would snap his arm. She
Flo-
probably weighs more than Floyd Mayweather.
I don't know.
Is he heavy?
Is he-
Is he heavyweight?
No, he's not a heavyweight.
Oh, he's not heavyweight.
He might be a middleweight.
Yeah.
But if you want to go middleweight is like 170 to 185, something like that.
I don't even know if he's that big.
I don't even know if he's that big. You put Donald Cerrone in there,
Cerrone,
the cowboy, he will kick his head off. I mean, kick it off.
That's what I like about MMA. Somebody will literally get their head kicked off one day.
There are some dudes that will just, if they see that a guy's doing this, and he thinks, well, I'll just do a front kick, and just kick him up under the chin, and he just falls like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
So there's
You know.
they're going to be a boxer that's a little too full of himself, say Floyd Mayweather, and thinks he can pull off a UFC match. Do you think we'll see a crossover?
There are boxers like we watched the kid last night from Utah that was a boxer.
Yeah, he had like 60 boxing fights under his belt.
And he came out there and just bam, 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 bam. He ended up getting beat because the guy got him down.
because the guy
Boxers,
took him down like
it just
8 times.
depends on the matchup. If you put two boxers in there, you're going to get a hell of a fight. But if you put like a jiu-jitsu guy in there with a boxer, the jiu-jitsu guy is not going to want to throw. He's going to want to take him down and get
But
on
you
top
put-
of him, choke him out, or at least get on top of him and beat the shit
If you put a boxer in with a wrestler like Daniel Cormier, there are wrestlers in MMA that are Olympic wrestlers, NCAA Division I champion wrestlers, and
or Brock Lesnar.
Lesnar, yeah.
and
Oh,
see, it's like that kid from Utah. He was a boxer, and he was going against a guy that was a Division I NCAA wrestler. A boxer cannot beat a wrestler because once a boxer hits the wrestler and he's like, "Woo, I don't want a part of that," he'll take him down.
Take you down.
He took that kid down at will. Anytime he wanted the fight to go to the ground, he could do it.
Yes.
Now the kid did well on the ground. It was about as good as you could do your back. Punching.
He was an exciting young fighter. He took the fight on short notice. I can't remember his name for the life of me. He was a Mormon because he didn't have any tattoos.
Which is weird.
Because most UFC fighters have got some sort of giant, gnarly tattoo where you're like, why
the guy he was fighting had 2 angel wings, full length of his back.
Full length of his back. And some sort of...
yeah, he had like some sort of
a
he was Polynesian.
Polynesian.
So,
Had some sort of design across his chest and shoulders, too. But you get some experience, you get some full training camps under your belt. He'll learn how to at least ward off a wrestler's attempt to take him down.
Yeah, at best, you have to at least know how to stop from being taken down and all the ways to get out of it, regardless of whether or not you ever want to do it.
Has anybody but me seen Lesnar fight in the UFC?
Yeah, I've watched it.
No, I haven't.
It seems like I have, but I bet I'm thinking of that.
Lesnar was a badass.
I'm thinking of Chuck Liddell. I think I've seen him fight.
Now,
but I haven't seen Lesnar.
Now, when Lesnar had his diverticulitis, and like Paul Heyman said, was only fighting at 50 to 75%. That's different. But when he was like winning the title and fighting, I mean, he's just a beast, man. There's no one in the UFC now built like he is. I don't know. Maybe he'll go back.
I'd like to see Mayweather or any boxer fight Machida. And Machida's on the downslide. He's almost pushing 40.
Dustin loves Lyoto Machida.
Lyoto,
it's those Hawaiian good looks. Or no, he's Brazilian.
He's Brazilian.
Whatever happened to Kimbo Slice?
Oh,
Kimbo Slice was
he's done.
amateur.
He sucked because he could not deal with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the wrestlers. That's just all it was.
He's just a
Do you see
back
him going
alley
wrestling?
fighter.
Has anyone ever mentioned if he would go wrestling?
He probably
maybe?
couldn't. He probably couldn't handle it.
I don't know.
I'm just saying a name, and here we are.
I'd
like
actually
a
heard
Broncos.
that.
It's not quite as easy to jump into wrestling. There was a lot of talk on that. Sorry, Dustin. The Shield documentary, where they were saying that Rollins was down in NXT, and he and Terry Taylor, who was one of the guys trainers down there, were butting heads. And Terry Taylor was like, "If you don't start doing it," he said, "it's like you're coming in here speaking French, and we all speak English, and you're expecting us to learn how to speak French." He said, "If you don't come in here and drop everything you're trying to do and start doing it the way we want to do it, you're not going to be here." I don't. What am I talking about now? Oh, okay. So you've got to have guys that are willing to come in there and just listen
100%.
and learn.
Yeah.
They were saying that Roman Reigns, they said that he was great. He picked up everything like that.
Well, he was a football player.
And he was easily coached. And it's like, yeah, he was a football player, and he's got wrestling in his blood because Sika of the Wild Samoans is his dad. And he's cousins with the Usos and Rikishi and The Rock.
Snuka.
I mean, he's basically the crown prince of wrestling. So, Kimbo Slice, I don't know. First off, he's probably too old. And second, I don't know if he could necessarily subjugate himself. Some guys kind of believe they are who they are in the business. You don't have many guys like Abdullah the Butcher and Brody who didn't give a shit about titles, or they give a shit about winning because
and the money, yeah.
But they were there to make money. Lesnar's the same way. Lesnar he doesn't have a love for professional wrestling. He's there. He's good at it. He's there to make money. Whereas most of the people found wrestling when they were 8 years old and have loved it, and this is their life. And there are a few who just don't love the business that way and are just doing it because Luger.
I was going to say Goldberg.
Someone said, "Why don't you try wrestling?" Because he washed out as a football player.
It's just another way to compete.
Make money.
I mean, really, it's another way to compete, and you look good and you're built and everything. But getting back to the MMA boxing thing,
my boat has arrived.
Another reason why MMA will kind of take over for boxing is simply because if you're a boxer and you have any kind of career, you're going to come out the back end with your brain turned to mush.
Right out the ass end.
Even because if you're a bad MMA fighter, you'll get knocked out 6 times or something and be like, yeah, maybe this ain't for me. But there's so many times that you can get knocked out a few times in MMA or get choked out or whatever, but you're not doing 10 rounds of just sustained pummeling of your skull.
That's the other thing about the MMA and the UFC. Are those rounds are 5 minutes apiece?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Jeez.
5 minutes.
It's crazy.
3
compared
rounds
to,
and 5 rounds for championship.
Yeah,
or main events.
But it's just
Well, let's put it this way. When was the last time has anybody watched a UFC fight?
No.
My dad will watch them, and I'll
one of the
sneak a peek
old
at
ones
them
from
sometimes.
like one of the first.
And I don't
ones.
know. I don't know if they're current.
Oh, the
or
first
not.
ones. The first ones were crazy.
The very, very first. We got the first one either on pay-per-view or rented it on cassette with Shamrock and Hoist Gracie.
Yeah.
Well, when was the last time you watched a boxing match? A fight. An actual fight.
That's been a while. But
Tyson.
that was
Has
an
it been
HBO
longer
thing, and
than
HBO
UFC,
still shows boxing.
Though? Has it been longer than
definitely.
UFC? So
Definitely. Yeah.
that right there ought to tell you something.
Right.
Even if you're not a UFC watcher, you've seen a UFC fight more recently than you have a boxing.
But also the
And
thing
we
about
used to watch the HBO Friday night
Oh,
fights.
God.
or
And
boxing
they
all
still
the
show
time.
boxing. That's still one of
Yeah,
their
but we
corners.
just
They
never
don't
watch
really
it.
have any personalities that.
Right. You
Yeah.
need personalities.
Yeah.
And even
Holyfield,
in the UFC,
Tyson.
you've got enough of a personality that you can get into the fight.
But Mayweather's the only boxer I know out there. I
Right.
don't know
yeah,
any
but I mean
others.
Right.
that was the thing back in the day.
Besides Manny Pacquiao.
Basically we had
I've heard the name.
we had Tyson, Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, Kelly Pavlik, and they're all done. And now
Even the lightweight,
yeah, I mean that's the
Handler
thing.
and-
Pavlik was a middleweight. I think Gotti and Ward were welterweights, maybe something like that.
What was Maldonado? Daniel Maldonado.
Oh,
He
all right.
was, I think, a featherweight.
Okay.
Whatever happened.
Which-
to him?
And yeah, is he still boxing?
No,
or not?
he's.
Okay.
I think he's working now, but he had
Yeah.
a couple of titles on him.
Yeah.
We I'll never forget. He had a fight Friday night fights in Owensboro.
Oh, I was about to say I saw him down here next
Oh,
to the
yeah,
post office.
yeah. No, but
Fight
he,
somebody in the parking lot of the post office?
he had
The
a
old Cap Moore. I
he
guess.
had a Friday night lights in a Friday night fights in Owensboro
On
at the
ESPN.
Sports Center on ESPN, and Kelly Pavlik was on the card. He was like, he actually wasn't even the main event. The main event was another kind of local guy, but Kelly Pavlik fought this dude from Minnesota, and the kid kept getting up, but he hit him so hard that the guy just went down and his nose exploded.
Oh, wow.
And he just kept getting up, and Kelly Pavlik kept putting him down. And Kelly Pavlik was the best boxer I've ever seen in my life. Of course, that's the very few boxing I've ever seen. But he became the champ and was huge. But,
and then lost.
Oh, yeah, and then
never heard from him again.
well, I think he ended up having a
boxing
drug
is so
problem.
crooked.
Yeah, I mean that's
So, I mean, UFC at this point, as far as we know, isn't crooked. So,
But
legit.
UFC has so many now that it's all gotten down to where if you're not in UFC, you're pretty much nothing. But it's gotten to the point now where they have fights every other weekend.
yeah. There was
At
like a
minimum.
month where we didn't have fights, but we had one last weekend. We had one last night. It's pay-per-view the next weekend. Seemed like there's fights every weekend for the next several weeks.
And we got our first taste of it with the Ultimate Fighter, which is where they bring in guys and they all compete for contracts.
This next Ultimate Fighter starts in September. It's girls.
It's like
And it's
the really small.
a new weight class, and whoever wins it is going to get the title.
So that's different. It's not.
Because nobody in the world can beat Ronda Rousey.
Well, Ronda Rousey's at her weight class, which I think they call bantamweight.
Yeah, I got to pee bad.
I think this is going to be like a flyweight or a featherweight division, and these are like girls that are like 120 pounds. So it really for the women's side, it's just hard finding women of the weight classes that want to fight. So
Tanya Harding.
Oh,
She was a
wow.
boxer.
Yeah,
Do
she
you remember
was.
that?
Oh, yeah.
She was the most
Oh,
well-known
my God.
female boxer I've known.
yeah, but yeah, we're into it. Once you learn some of the people, some of the guys that are fun to watch, John Jones, Gustav, and Cormier, and Chael used to be good, but he got busted, and
he
he's
got
not.
busted with PEDs and got suspended for 2 years. He's essentially done.
But
He's too old.
Machida and all these guys, and some of the old guys that still fight. It's cool. It's fun.
What about Yoel Romero?
Oh yeah, he's Cuban.
He's a weird fighter.
Yeah, he fights
real
weird.
slow.
He kind of like dances
goes in real
around,
fast,
but he's really
he's
slow.
kind of moves around
But he was an Olympic
like he's
wrestler.
waxing on and waxing off very slowly.
But he was an Olympic wrestler and is built like a brick shit
Oh, he's
house.
the best.
Good lord.
Future champion.
But-
Yoel Romero.
It's good
Feed!
stuff.
Feed! Viva la raza!
And then there's Ronda Rousey.
I gotta
who
pee.
Nobody can beat. So.
If we're going to continue, I'm just going to go pee. But if
just-
we're near the end...
Do we have emails now?
No emails. I do have something else. I know we missed out on the limeade and the root beer float Oreos, but
All right.
thank God they brought a new flavor to our wonderful county.
Well, I'm going to go pee.
Okay,
It's pea flavored Oreos.
it's
everybody.
pea flavored Oreos.
We stopped up here at the convenience store, and they have the Lay's potato chips. They're doing the thing now where they have like cappuccino and
Yeah, the
ginger wasabi.
do us a flavor.
Yeah, well, they have a bunch of different ones. Well, up there at the convenience store we go to, it's an IGA Express or whatever. They have Larry the Cable Guy potato chips.
Really?
Tell us about that. Yeah.
They are awesome. They have fried dill pickle is one of the flavors.
Ooh.
Cheeseburger. The cheeseburger's got a real heavy pickle flavor to it. But the ones that were interesting were tater salad, which is great. It tastes just like potato salad. Biscuits and gravy was really good.
Ooh, I'd love some
And
of that.
I think there was something else. Oh, there's a buffalo wing, but who cares about that? But they're really good. I mean, they're better than anything that Lay's is doing right now.
Get them in here next week.
So the
Yeah, we can
biscuit,
do that.
the biscuits and gravy. Do they taste like a
They
Hardee's?
taste like not sausage gravy,
Okay.
just regular
Oh,
white
okay.
pepper
Yeah.
gravy. Tastes just like it.
Yeah, because sausage gravy can be a little heavy.
Yeah, sometimes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it tastes just like that white
I
that
saw
white gravy.
I don't know what brand it was when I was at the store today, but there's a potato chip sloppy Joe flavored.
Ooh.
I'm not sure about that. Now, whenever the Lay's did the flavor thing last time, they had a sriracha flavored that was great. So I don't know if you all are into sriracha, but
What exactly is sriracha?
It's a hot sauce,
It's a
isn't
chili.
it?
It's a chili garlic hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty pungent smell to it. In fact, the plant that makes them out in like California was getting sued because the
smells so
town
bad.
didn't appreciate the smell. Which it is pretty pungent smell, but it tastes good.
Speaking of which, Lee's back from the bathroom.
Yes, and to add a little extra flavor, I didn't wash.
With that being said,
All
Break 'em
right.
out.
Okay, so this is a Target exclusive,
Oh.
Shit!
and you can tell that Lee's excited.
And you were just in Target.
Damn it, you're right.
and you didn't
So-
bring them. You didn't
Is
bring
it
anything
face
in?
bomb?
huh?
You didn't bring them in.
Yeah.
Okay,
they're
let's
here.
do it.
Break 'em
Well,
out.
yeah, I thought you were just-
Starving.
Let me bring them in.
Somebody's going to start bringing drinks to this thing.
Okay.
I had one.
Okay.
I
What
have
what
nothing to do.
I
I
wasn't
said
warned.
drinks.
what flavor do you think this is going to be?
Oh, I haven't the slightest idea.
I don't even know what it is. Give me a hint.
It's Oreo cookies.
Okay, it's Oreo cookie.
Target. Exclusive.
Yeah.
Orange.
Gunpowder.
Sriracha. Gunpowder.
Orange.
Target.
Okay. Here.
Candy cane. What is
Yeah.
Caramel apple.
Yes.
I'm out.
It's almost
You're
that
out.
time
I
of
don't like
year.
car. I don't know.
This is a caramel apple Oreo flavored
I'm
cookie,
gonna try it.
exclusive to Target. Just came out a few days ago.
limited edition.
Yeah. So
Sure to get my pea-laden hands all over everything.
the only reason why I knew about this is because of the Huffington
Smells
Post.
delightful.
Yeah, but it
Oh,
smells
thank
good.
God the Huffington Post wasn't talking about what's going on in Syria or Israel or Ferguson,
Or
Missouri.
Or Kim Kardashian's
or Kim
ass.
Kardashian's ass. But by God, they'll tell us when the Oreos are around.
Maybe they'll have Oreos that taste like Kim
Sam.
Kardashian's ass.
Actually,
I don't like caramel apples.
Well, how come?
I just don't like
you
them.
know it's not real caramel or a real apple.
I don't
No,
care.
it smells good.
It's supposed to taste like them, and
It tastes exactly like
Okay,
a caramel
then
apple.
I'm not going to eat them. You haven't even
I
eaten.
got
I've
more
had
about
this
it.
beforehand.
I got more of a banana taste to it.
Yeah,
I
it does
like
have
bananas
bananas.
in it.
That's
I
pretty
like
good.
it.
Yeah, that's really
I
good.
Is
like
there a
it.
fruit that you do like, Sam?
You don't like apples even?
No, I don't like apples.
You don't want? Do you like
Oranges,
caramel?
Peaches.
They're right. No.
I don't
The only
like
fruit
peaches.
Sam eats is Tang.
Strawberry quick. That's what
Yeah, that's
Sam.
No.
So, Here's my suggestion for the fall. I want the new Oreo flavor to be pumpkin pie. I want a pumpkin pie Oreo cookie.
That's a given. I think that'll happen. They'll probably do.
And then to wash it down, we'll have some pumpkin beer.
Okay.
I
Jam
like
flavored.
these. These are good. Like them.
Good as the fruit punch.
Yeah.
I like them better than the fruit punch. I'll go out
Really?
and say that.
Pretty good. They ain't kidding around.
Delicious.
But yeah, if you want to try some of these caramel apples, they are Target exclusive. You can't get them at Walmart or anywhere else.
Why is it Oreo damn sponsoring us by this point?
Let's follow them on the Twitters and see what they have done.
I don't know, but I'm going to suggest it to them. I'm going to tweet it after, not for them to sponsor us, but I'm going to tweet my idea to Oreo after
At least
we're off.
to give us
I think they are
some
talking to
freebies.
Yeah. I want a pumpkin pie flavored Oreo cookie. And then I want a hot chocolate flavored Oreo cookie in the winter.
Can't you just get a chocolate Oreo cookie and call it even?
And it's not the same. You don't have that smooth marshmallow taste.
Yeah, it's not going to.
You know, all hot chocolate doesn't have marshmallows in it.
That's right.
True.
But
Well, that was a delight.
We're done.
So
Ariana Grande, Jessie J, and Nicki Minaj. A trois. It's a trois. There's
I guess
three
there
of
will be.
them.
There are.
We'll
three
kick
of them.
off tonight's VMAs with a performance of Bang Bang! It must be a tribute to Cactus Jack.
Must be.
Bang Bang!
With that being
You know,
said,
do you want to know how Cactus Jack came up with the Bang Bang?
let's hear it.
B-52s.
Yes. He was.
There you go.
They were wrestling the match, and for some reason they were playing Love Shack over the house speakers or something as he was beating the stew out of somebody, and he was singing along to it. Bang, bang, bang.
I wish it had been Rock Lobster.
Then he'd been Rock Lobster! Yeah, it wouldn't have quite worked out. The way. You idiot. How Megadeth's Marty Friedman became a Japanese superstar. Only on Rolling
All right,
Stone.
yeah, we.
Right. He moved
Okay.
to- Let's
Wrap this son of a bitch up in
Come
the
on.
grand scheme of things.
Wait, email us. channel1itv.com. Grand schemes at channel1itv.com.
You can follow us on Twitter.
Twitter.
And
Our
something.
individual Twitter accounts if
You
you
dig?
want.
Yep. Yeah, or on YouTube. Go ahead and like this podcast.
Oh, we're back on YouTube?
Yeah.
back on
Yeah.
YouTube.
I
Yeah.
think maybe I shared it.
Yeah. Now that I have a lot more free time, I'm able to put this on YouTube as well. So
Well, all right. In the grand scheme of things,
Nobody gives a shit.